You book an italki lesson and expect the language to wash over you as the teacher speaks. You patiently wait for the last 7 chapters of your textbook because surely, they're going to give you all the breakthroughs you need to get to fluent. You Google learn Spanish in 7 weeks plan yet again because you just don't trust yourself to decide what you need. You know those moments, right? When you trust that someone else knows exactly what you need to get fluent more so than you trust yourself. Yeah, it sucks. And really, it does not give you the strength that you need to learn a language successfully on your own. What you need is to trust your language gut. Let's get into it. But what does that really mean? Being able to make the right decisions for yourself at the right time and trust that they are the right decisions. And why do I care so much about trusting your language gut? Because this shows up everywhere in language learning. It's not just about trusting that you know the word in the moment when you're speaking, it's about trusting that you know the process that's going to work in your language learning, not just using the language. So what does it really mean to trust your language gut? And how can we get to a place where we believe it? First of all, trusting your language gut doesn't need fluency. It's easy to imagine that trusting your language gut only really is relevant when you are fluent anyway, and the words that you're filling in and trusting your gut for are those little niche ones that have prefixes and suffixes that you can guess. Think anti-disestablishmentarianism. You know the type, right? You can figure out those pieces and you can put it together like Lego. But it's not just about being at that high level, because it's about more than words. Trusting my language gut, I can tell when someone I'm speaking with is mad, or calm, or angry, or sad. I can gauge all of that stuff. And you probably can too. It's instinctual. It tells us how to respond and react in those situations. If someone's mad, I can assume it's probably best to back away like Homer into the hedge. If someone's feeling quite calm, then I might assume that they're willing to have a bit more patience with my not so advanced language of theirs. If someone seems calm, I can take that calmness on for myself and assume they have a little more patience for my minimal command of their language. Trusting your language gut gives you free language. Yes, woohoo! No longer does every single word that you're going to learn require look, say, cover, write, check style learning. No, there's going to be moments where if you just trust your language gut, you're going to be able to guess plenty of words. Even if you get it wrong from time to time, that trust in yourself to try is going to be really, really important as you go forward. So let's say that you want to say something is boring, but you don't know the word boring, but you do know not fun, and you think, well, that's 2 words. Is there 1 word? Maybe it's unfun. And so you piece that together because you know that un makes something negative. It may not be a word officially, but it works. It gets your point across, and you trusted your language gut and you got there and you said the thing. And besides, who says unfun isn't a word? When you trust your language gut, it means that you get free language, extra vocabulary and grammar acquired through your practice and your learning process, not through rigorous rote exercises. Yay! Trusting your language gut is knowing yourself. Language learning offers us insights into the world around us. It's like doors ajar that lead us to discover more about places and people and history and cultures and all of the things. But it's not just about the world around us. The more that you know about your preferences for learning, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, the easier it becomes to trust your language gut. And it works vice versa as well. When you trust that you have picked the right resource or booked a lesson at the right time, then you're more willing to actually go in positively and see if you're right. If you go in thinking, oh my goodness, is this the right book for me? Should I be using something else? You're too distracted. It doesn't work. But if you just trust, yeah, this is the right book for me, even if it's not, but you trust that it is, you go in and you're willing to discover that it is. And if it isn't, that's fine too. You trusted and so you tried, rather than, what should I do? Overwhelm, right? We're going in with a much better frame of mind here. And without the endless questioning and self-doubt, you're able to make decisions on this as a neutral observer. Trusting your language gut increases confidence. That questioning and self-doubt becomes overwhelming too. We don't want that. You want to feel confident speaking to strangers in Italy, picking up a new novel in Korean, or deciding if that German resource is right or wrong for you. I find this is strongly linked to the last point. The more I know myself and how I best learn languages, the more confident I am overall. It took me over 4 years to feel confident speaking Spanish. It took me around 4 hours to feel confident speaking Sinhala for a trip to Sri Lanka. How? Why? Why such a difference? Well, there's a few reasons. When I was learning Spanish, I had multiple teachers guiding me, with little authority myself over what I learnt or how I learnt it. I gave them all the power. And with that much more recent example of Sinhala, I had the confidence to show up to lessons that I chose to book and tell the teacher what I wanted to learn and how I wanted to go about our time together versus what I could do solo on my own outside of those lessons. Am I saying that I speak Sinhala as well as Spanish in a matter of hours and weeks versus months and years? No, absolutely not. But what I am saying is that it would not take me as long to learn a language now to that same level. Just because I trust my language gut, I know what's up. Trusting your language gut keeps you calm. You know the feeling, right? That sense of panic and nervousness when someone says something to you and you do not understand what you've just been told. All you can do is smile back sweetly. You know it, they know it, it's showing on your face. Ugh, it's embarrassing. It's all too easy for language learners to fall into panic mode when they encounter something they don't know. I call it the brick wall. They suddenly forget everything else they heard up to that point and become hyper-focused on that one word, that one brick wall that got them stumped, that they don't know. So now you're not listening to anything that's being said beyond that brick wall. You've forgotten everything that was said before it, and you're just stuck on that one thing. When you build this sense of trust in your language gut, you're able to keep calm. You're able to trust that you will be able to pick up that thread again, you will be able to get the gist, and you will be okay to ask for corrections, slowing down, repetition, all of the things that will help you understand what is going on. So we don't need to hit the brick wall, we can walk around the brick wall now. Trusting your language gut reduces mental overload. All of that nervousness sure has a way to take over, huh? Woo! I hear of far too many language learners getting overwhelmed and fatigued. This is when people give up. This is why so many people will tell you, when you tell them that you're learning a language, that they also tried that once but never got very far. Because many people have tried and lots of people haven't got very far because of this. Because we get stuck on what to do and how to do it, the process is going too slowly, all of the things. It really, really sucks. Whether it's the overwhelm in real life, speaking in the moment, or simply picking from a list of resources because there's just so much to choose from. Without trusting your language gut, that mental overwhelm and fatigue can become really real. With trusting your language gut, however, there's space to breathe. It's like the city in your brain just replaced that noisy old construction site with a nice clean green park. Let's take speaking as an example. So there is a lot going on anytime we want to speak in any language. According to a commonly cited speech production model first proposed by Levelt, speaking happens in 3 stages. First up is conceptualization. This is to do with figuring out what you want to say. The next stage is formulation, figuring out how you're going to say it. And the final stage is articulation, actually saying it. This means there's already a lot going on up here when we want to simply order a baguette and not remind people of Emily in Paris. The more we can trust our language gut at each stage of the process, deciding what we want to say, how we're going to saying it, and actually saying it, the better the experience for everyone, especially you. So now we know that trusting our language gut is really, really important and has a big impact on all of these things across the board for our language learning. How do we get better at this? How do we build that sense of trust in our own decisions and knowing that we're making those right choices in our language learning? Well, one way is to join Language Life. I've just added the Trust Your Language Gut experience. This is a 12-day experience that is going to help you to cultivate the necessary skills to get better at this stuff. And so over time, you will be able to trust your language gut more, regardless of your language level. This isn't just about the more words you learn, the better you get. Yeah, of course, that's going to happen simultaneously to you getting better at trusting your language gut. You can learn more at the link in the description, and I look forward to welcoming you inside and working together. But I'd love to know what this means for you too. What does it mean to you to trust your language gut? How good do you feel you are at it? What do you feel you need to help you get better at this? Let me know in the comments. And as always, all of the YouTube stuff, subscribe, like, comment, share, hashtag all of the things, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you. Bye.